What if I told you that the very first 2 inches of your hair could change everything people notice about you? It sounds dramatic, but it's true. Bangs have the power to completely rewrite your appearance. They can erase years in seconds, soften features that feel too harsh, and shift attention to the parts of your face you love most. But the wrong cut, it can do the opposite, dragging focus to every line, every angle you'd rather not highlight. After 50, this choice becomes even more powerful. Hair is no longer just about style. It's about balance, confidence, and the story your face tells the world. Over the years, I've seen women transform not with surgery, not with expensive treatments, but with something as simple as the right fringe. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to choose the bangs that flatter your face, no matter your age. I'll share real client transformations that will surprise you, and we'll take a closer look at how some of Hollywood's most admired women use bangs to enhance their beauty with elegance and intention. Stay with me, because the difference a few strands of hair can make is more shocking than you might believe. When it comes to choosing a hairstyle, especially bangs, most women are told to think in simple terms. If you have a round face, choose side-swept bangs. If your face is long, a blunt fringe will fix it. The truth is far more nuanced. Your face is not defined by one label such as round or long. What truly matters is proportion, the balance between your forehead, cheekbones, jawline, and chin. The best way to understand your own proportions is to step in front of a mirror with your hair pulled completely away from your face. Look for 4 key points: the top of the forehead, the highest part of the cheekbones, the tip of the chin, and the corners of the jawline. Imagine connecting these points. This framework reveals far more than a simple face shape. It shows the actual distribution of length and width that makes your features unique. I can speak from personal experience. At 52, I once believed I had a long face because my forehead appeared broad. Thinking I could correct this, I cut blunt bangs straight across. Instead of softening my look, the haircut emphasized heaviness in the middle of my face and brought every fine line around my mouth into focus. That moment changed the way I view beauty. The issue was never whether my face was long or short, but how the proportions of my mid-face outweighed the rest. Scientific research confirms what many women notice in the mirror. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology found that after the age of 50, women experience 2 consistent facial changes. The forehead appears shorter as the hairline subtly recedes, and the jawline becomes 15 to 20% heavier due to shifts in fat distribution and natural skin laxity. These changes alter balance. For this reason, bangs after 50 should not be chosen solely for fashion but also for function. They must soften, lift, and disguise, working almost like a subtle filter in real life. So ask yourself, which part of your face dominates today? Does your forehead appear taller than it once was? Do you see more weight around the chin and jawline? Or perhaps you notice that your cheekbones no longer stand out as strongly. Recognizing where proportion has shifted will guide you to the right solution. In my salon, I have seen countless women regret cutting bangs that looked spectacular on someone else. One client in her late 50s told me she copied a friend's hairstyle only to feel instantly older. The explanation was simple. Her friend carried more length in the forehead while she carried it through the mid-face. Identical haircuts produced opposite results. Beauty is not about copying, it is about customizing. After 50, bangs take on a new role. They soften deep lines on the forehead, redirect focus toward the eyes, and frame the cheekbones to create lift. They can even minimize the appearance of a heavier jaw by drawing the gaze upward. When chosen with precision, the right fringe becomes one of the most effective, non-invasive tools a woman can use to restore harmony and freshness to her appearance. Once you understand your proportions, you begin to see bangs not as a trend, but as a design element. Just as a tailor adjusts a suit to flatter the body, a hairstylist uses the placement, density, and length of bangs to correct proportion. That is why no single style works for everyone, and why age makes this awareness even more essential. With this foundation in mind, the natural next question arises: which type of bangs can best balance and enhance your features? Let us begin with one of the most versatile and universally flattering options. Top 4 Curtain Bangs. Curtain bangs are one of the rare hairstyles that truly transcend age, face shape, and even hair texture. Think of them as the little black dress of the hair world, endlessly versatile, forgiving, and capable of making almost any woman look more radiant. They are parted down the center or just off-center and sweep gently to the sides, framing the face with softness. The beauty lies in their illusion. They do not cover the forehead entirely, yet they create just enough veil to conceal lines, highlight the eyes, and add movement around the cheekbones. I remember a client of mine, age 58, who had been hesitant about bangs her entire life. She came to me complaining that her face looked tired and that people kept asking if she was unwell. Her hair was thinning at the crown, and she felt every style only made her features look harsher. With a few carefully placed snips, we created curtain bangs tailored to her natural part. The next week, she walked into the salon glowing. Her coworkers had insisted she looked 10 years younger. What had changed? Not her skin, not her makeup, not even her wardrobe. Only the framing of her face. Curtain bangs had shifted attention away from the fine lines on her forehead and brought her sparkling eyes into focus. There is a reason why women like Andie MacDowell have embraced this look with such grace. In her 60s, she wears her silver hair with unapologetic confidence. Curtain bangs soften the transition between her face and her flowing waves, turning what could have been seen as aging into something striking and chic. Instead of fighting her natural hair color, the bangs highlight it, transforming silver into an asset. That is the genius of this style. It adapts to you rather than forcing you into a mold. Another secret advantage of curtain bangs is how they interact with different hairstyles. When the hair is worn down, they add lightness and movement. When the hair is pulled into a bun or ponytail, the bangs fall elegantly along the sides, preventing the face from appearing severe. Many women are surprised by how much younger and more approachable they appear simply because their features are no longer exposed in a stark, all-back style. From a technical perspective, curtain bangs work particularly well for women with fine or thinning hair. Unlike blunt or heavy bangs which demand density, curtain bangs rely on softness and tapering. They give the illusion of volume without overwhelming the hairline. For clients with thinning temples, a common change after 50, this is invaluable. The style camouflages sparseness while still looking effortless. Here is a thought experiment for you. Picture yourself at a dinner party, laughing, hair tucked loosely behind your ears. Now imagine those strands falling gently across your cheekbones, directing the eye to the sparkle in your eyes rather than the lines around them. Which version of yourself would you rather present to the world? That is the silent power of curtain bangs. They guide attention exactly where you want it. Of course, no haircut is perfect for every single woman. There are always exceptions. If your hairline has multiple cowlicks or if you struggle to maintain a middle part, curtain bangs can be tricky. But even then, adjustments can be made. A slightly off-center version, cut to blend into your natural growth pattern, often works just as beautifully. The key is customization, never the cookie-cutter approach. The impact of curtain bangs is sometimes so dramatic that clients question whether they have undergone a cosmetic procedure. I once had a woman joke that her new bangs looked like a mini facelift with scissors. She was right. By narrowing the forehead visually and lifting focus upward, curtain bangs simulate the balance and openness we associate with youth. No injections, no surgery, just hair strategically cut to harmonize with the face. It is worth remembering that beauty after 50 is not about erasing age, but about rewriting the story your features tell. Curtain bangs, more than almost any other fringe, allow that story to shift, from tired to vibrant, from harsh to inviting, from hidden to seen. And once you experience how transformative they can be, you will naturally begin to wonder, if this one style can do so much, what might the others reveal about you? Top 3. Air bangs. Air bangs, often called wispy bangs, are the most delicate expression of a fringe, a light, airy veil that falls just enough to soften the forehead without weighing it down. They do not command attention the way blunt cuts do, and they do not frame as dramatically as curtain bangs. Instead, they offer a suggestion, a whisper, the kind of subtle detail that can quietly transform a woman's entire look. I once worked with a client, age 55, who carried the weight of self-consciousness every time she looked in the mirror. She felt her forehead was too wide, too exposed, as if it told the world more than she wished. After years of hiding behind layers and avoiding bangs altogether, she allowed me to craft a wispy fringe for her. The effect was immediate. Her face no longer looked dominated by her forehead. It looked balanced, harmonious. What struck me most was not the physical change, but the emotional one. She smiled differently, softer, brighter, as if a piece of her confidence had been quietly restored. When she returned weeks later, she shared that colleagues had asked if she had been away on a retreat. Nothing about her life had changed, except the way her hair framed her face. This is the essence of air bangs. They break up vertical space on the face without blocking it, making them especially suited to women whose foreheads have lengthened or appear taller over time. Unlike heavier fringes that can look harsh, wispy strands diffuse light across the skin, softening fine lines and allowing the eyes to stand out. They create balance through subtlety, a quality often overlooked but deeply powerful. Fonda has embodied this elegance at several public events. In her 80s, she wore fine, feathered bangs that seemed almost weightless. Instead of masking her age, the style emphasized her vitality. Her eyes sparkled, her presence radiated ease, and her silver hair looked deliberate and refined. That choice was a statement not about looking younger, but about looking alive, engaged, and unapologetically graceful. From a technical standpoint, wispy bangs are one of the most forgiving options for women over 50. They are low maintenance, grow out easily, and blend seamlessly into surrounding layers. They also adapt to different moods. Brushed lightly to the side, they nearly disappear. Styled forward, they frame the eyes with softness. For women who want transformation without long-term commitment, few options are more versatile. Their impact, however, extends beyond appearance. Many women describe feeling more approachable, more open when wearing this style. The lightness of air bangs changes not only how the face is perceived, but also how expressions are received. Harsh lines soften, the gaze appears more welcoming, and the overall impression is one of warmth. This is why so many clients tell me they feel more connected to others after embracing this cut. It is worth noting that wispy bangs are not universal. On hair that is extremely thin or overly straight, they may collapse flat, losing their intended airiness. Skilled adjustment, a deeper layer here, a touch of texture there can correct this, but it underscores a larger truth. Bangs must always be tailored. A haircut that floats beautifully on one woman may fall limp on another. Precision and personalization matter far more than following a trend. What makes air bangs remarkable is their ability to deliver contrast. They are almost invisible, yet the change they bring is unmistakable. They allow the face to reclaim softness, the eyes to reclaim focus, and the woman herself to reclaim presence. The transformation is never loud, but it lingers, leaving others with the impression that something has shifted, even if they cannot name what it is. And just when you think you have understood the subtle magic of this style, there exists another that works in the opposite direction, one that does not veil gently but carves with intention, reshaping the way a face is read. That journey, too, has its revelations. Top 2. Side bangs. Side bangs have long been regarded as one of the most reliable styles for women seeking balance and refinement. Their strength lies in the diagonal line they create across the forehead, a subtle redirection that elongates the face and softens angularity. For women whose features have grown stronger with age or whose faces appear broader than they once did, this gentle sweep can deliver remarkable transformation. A client of mine, 62 years old, had always struggled with a square jawline. Over time, she felt her face looked increasingly rigid, and every attempt at styling seemed to emphasize the severity. By introducing side bangs that curved delicately across her forehead and blended into soft layers, we changed the visual language of her face. The jaw no longer dominated. Instead, the attention lifted toward her eyes. Friends remarked on how much more feminine and approachable she appeared, as though a layer of weight had been removed. What had shifted was not her bone structure, but the way the eye was guided across it. The principle is straightforward. The human eye follows diagonal lines instinctively. When hair falls in this way, it draws focus upward and outward, creating the impression of lift. A broad forehead appears narrower, a heavy jaw less pronounced, and even small asymmetries, an uneven brow, a smile that tilts, find quiet equilibrium. This is why side bangs are considered such a versatile option for mature women. They do not erase individuality but refine it. Helen Mirren offers a masterclass in how side bangs can serve elegance without compromise. On red carpets and at public appearances, she often wears them styled into her silver hair. They soften her profile while preserving her unmistakable authority. Instead of pulling every strand back tightly, the side sweep frames her face, adding movement and vitality. The effect is not about appearing younger but about presenting strength with grace. From a technical perspective, side bangs adapt easily to a variety of hair textures. They can provide dimension for fine hair or control for thicker hair. Unlike blunt or center-parted styles that may fight natural growth patterns, side bangs often align with the hair's direction, making them easier to manage. They blend into layers effortlessly and require less maintenance, which appeals to women who want style without constant upkeep. Yet the real impact goes beyond appearance. Many clients describe a change in how they feel when they look in the mirror. They use words like softer, lighter, even more open. This is not the language of vanity but of self-recognition. Side bangs allow them to see a version of themselves that feels truer, still mature, still authentic, but refined in a way that restores harmony. What makes this style particularly compelling is its dual nature. It has a reputation as the safe choice, yet in execution, it often becomes the boldest. Safety lies in its universality, boldness lies in the precision of its effect. It does not demand attention, yet it alters perception with quiet authority. For many women, that is the perfect balance, timeless enough to trust, transformative enough to inspire. And while side bangs demonstrate how asymmetry can be used to soften and lift, there exists another approach altogether. One that forgoes subtlety, draws a decisive line, and commands the eye with dramatic intent. Top 1. Blunt bangs. Blunt bangs are the most dramatic expression of a fringe. Cut straight across, usually just above the brows, they create a bold horizontal line that demands attention. Unlike softer styles that whisper or glide, blunt bangs announce themselves immediately. They reshape the way a face is read, sometimes with stunning success, sometimes with startling disappointment. The appeal is obvious. A perfectly cut blunt fringe can look powerful, chic, and undeniably youthful. It frames the eyes with intensity, accentuates cheekbones, and gives the impression of deliberate style. For women who thrive on making a statement, this haircut provides exactly that. It says, "I know who I am and I am not afraid to show it." But here is where the danger lies. Because blunt bangs divide the face so distinctly, they also highlight everything beneath them. A strong nose becomes stronger. A pronounced jaw appears heavier. Fine lines around the mouth suddenly command more attention. What feels daring and modern on one woman can look unbalanced and harsh on another. It is the most unforgiving of bang styles, offering brilliance only when proportions allow it. I remember a client in her late 50s who came to me after cutting blunt bangs on a whim. She hoped they would make her look younger, but instead she felt exposed. The straight line emphasized the length of her mid-face and drew every gaze toward the features she wanted to soften. We eventually transitioned her into a more blended style, and the relief was instant. Her face looked harmonious again. That experience left her with a new understanding. Some styles are not about age at all, but about architecture. Still, for the right woman, blunt bangs are electrifying. Viola Davis has worn them with commanding elegance, proving how potent this style can be. On her, the fringe highlights her eyes and creates a frame of authority, making her presence both modern and regal. The lesson is not that every woman should copy her, but that confidence and character must align with the cut. Blunt bangs work best on women who embody strength, independence, and a willingness to stand apart. Technically, they require precision and maintenance. The line must remain sharp. Even slight unevenness ruins the effect. The hair needs enough density to support the weight, otherwise the look collapses. And the wearer must embrace the attention it draws because this style will never blend into the background. It is not meant to. For women over 50, blunt bangs are less about chasing youth and more about projecting identity. They can add edge to silver hair, drama to a sleek bob, or structure to loose waves. When chosen intentionally, they send a message that maturity is not about retreating, but about redefining. The risk is high, but so is the reward. What fascinates me is the polarity of response. Some women feel instantly empowered, while others regret the decision within days. It is a cut that leaves no middle ground. Perhaps that is why it captivates so many. It is beauty without safety nets, a choice that forces both wearer and observer to react. And just beyond this daring line, after exploring the extremes of subtlety and strength, lies an approach that is less about a single cut and more about understanding the silent codes of proportion and balance. A perspective that changes the way you see every hairstyle thereafter. At the end of the day, bangs are not about right or wrong, they're about harmony. The right style balances your proportions, complements your features, and reflects the woman you are. After 50, a beautiful fringe becomes more than just a haircut. It can be your secret weapon, adding youthfulness, elegance, and a touch of confidence that radiates in every room you walk into. So don't be afraid to try something new. You deserve to feel radiant and powerful at any age. Take this as your invitation to experiment, to play, and to discover the version of yourself that feels most alive. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you found today's video inspiring, don't forget to subscribe and join our community of women who celebrate style and beauty after 50. I can't wait to share more tips, stories, and trends with you. Until then, stay confident, stay stylish, and I'll see you in the next video.